Very happy New Year to you and a warm welcome back to the first BAMREF Show of 2026. I'm pleased to say that we are joined by the BAMREF CEO Aji Ajibola and a rising star, James Box, is on the show this week. Now, I'm going to stipulate at this point that James is 16, so we've had to go through the proper checks and balances. We've got a member of our safeguarding team behind the camera, and that's of course the reason why we got the CEO with us. We've asked for permission from your dad, George, and he says that you do have the green light to be here. He's a very, very special talent. On the show this week, when is semi-automated offside? Not semi-automated offside. We're going to chat about the decision to allow the goal in the game between Fulham and Liverpool on Sunday. Florian Wirtz was a scorer. We'll also talk about the decision to suspend two members of the Equatorial Guinea team from the AFCON for abusing the referee. Really, really hot. I know Aji is on discipline and the way you conduct yourself with the referee. But let's start with James, because it's really special to have you here on the show. Only 16. There'll be a lot of young people watching and wondering how a 16-year-old finds a pathway into refereeing. What turned you onto it?
I believe refereeing is something that I love, and I also love the game of football. And to referee and to keep fit is also good for my well-being. It makes me happy as well. And,
when did you start refereeing?
I started refereeing when I was 12, 13.
How did you start?
I started refereeing for local teams in the area. They needed some referees to help out, and then I just fell in love with the game. Really.
Now this is what fascinates me. I've got 4 children, but I've got a 16-year-old son, and most 12-year-olds are on FIFA, Call of Duty, this, that, and the other. So how do you not go towards video games and go towards officiating?
That's a very good question. I believe that because I just wanted to keep fit, and I was always going to watch my brother's football matches. So and they always needed a referee, so I just stepped in and helped out. Being a referee helps me understand the game better. So that's probably one of the reasons why I chose to be a referee at such a young age.
Who are your inspirations?
My inspirations, I'd say Sam Allison. What he's doing at the top level is pretty good. He's refereeing WSL, Premier League, which is very inspiring.
And do you find that there are lots of young people your age who are interested in getting into refereeing?
Now there is, because a lot of schools are implementing refereeing courses in their physical studies. So
is that right?
Yeah, a lot of them are doing girls only referee courses, which is good. And boys can referee from years 8 and 9 onwards, which is good as well.
Wow, I can see you smiling over there. It must be delighted.
I mean, James's story is quite unique, and I'm really excited to sort of follow his journey. I think just for clarity, you can't actually get on a refereeing course till you're 14 years old. And James actually started at well of his time because he found something in officiating that he connected with, that he was volunteering himself at the age of 12 before he could even get on the course. And
now we've got to stipulate here again, you had a long chat with James's dad, just to even make sure we can have James on the show. He's like the Wayne Rooney of refereeing here. Although some younger people won't even understand that one. So yes, he's the Max Dowman of refereeing.
Yes, exactly that.
Just to bring it up to date. But you've had a long chat with his dad.
Yes.
And you know a little bit about his story as well. Do you want to tell us, or should we let James?
Well, I'll let James. The reason why I think his story is inspirational, not without challenges, by the way. I think it's also, when we talk about refereeing on the show every week, it's worth knowing that over the last 2 years, refereeing has experienced tremendous growth as a community and a network, and half of those people coming on board are under the age of 24 years old. So there is a very youthful zest within the referee network now, more than ever. It's important that as a BAMREF organisation, we give them the voice, because we can have the talk all day long, but these are young referees having their experiences, and James actually has quite an extended period beyond the normal referee at his age, because he started before he even got qualified.
When you started, did you have a role model?
In all honesty, no. I mean, I fell into refereeing rather than James actively seeking out refereeing. I was mandated to take a course because the club needed to have a referee in the stable.
Yes.
Whereas James, whenever you speak to him, his passion for refereeing comes through straight away.
Okay, well, let's talk to you then.
Share that with us.
No pressure, inspirational story. How did it start?
It all started, so as I mentioned, I started refereeing at 13, 12. So I wanted to, then at that point, I wanted to do refereeing as a career. And then at 14, I went and got qualified. But it wasn't that easy. So there were some challenges. When I started doing the games and getting observed, it was a bit rushed. So the rising standard or the rising pressure, doing under 15, 16 games at 14, maybe made it a bit challenging at the start. But when obviously the FA mentorship program helped me out really well, as they gave me some guidelines, and I managed to get my qualification at 14.
When you're 14, are other 14-year-olds saying you're doing refereeing? Come play with us.
When I was refereeing at one of my local teams, I think I ended up refereeing one of my schoolmates' games, and then which is quite funny because I was looking at the FA notification, and then I saw. I'm not going to mention the team name, but I saw the team name. I knew that I recognised people from my school that actually played for that team. So it was a bit interesting, but it was all like a laugh and a joke in the end.
Did you manage to stay objective?
I did, yeah. It's very important as a referee to stay on task, and even though you're arguably refereeing your best mates, you need to stay in control, stay in command of the game.
What have been the highs so far of refereeing for you?
The high is probably maybe being here, really, because I wouldn't have really, back then, a 14-year-old from Watford, I wouldn't have expected to be here at 16. It's the growth that I've done in that short space of time has been I've grown a lot, and I've improved as a person as well.
Expand on that.
I'd say my communication is better, confidence is better as well, fitness is better. So refereeing's really helped me along those routes as well.
No McDonald's.
No, stay on task.
Getting his good night's sleep now as well.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about the diet.
Diet. Obviously, in the morning like to have the breakfast, mainly protein-based breakfast. For muscle repair, muscle recovery. Some of the things that I actually learn right now because I'm I do a sports science course at my college. So I'm learning about nutrition and sports analysis and how to become a better athlete. So managing sleep as well. Sleep is very important because without sleep, the human body can't function in the morning. Diet is important as well. Making sure that you're getting protein, calcium, and vitamin C to keep your muscles working properly, and making sure that you're not falling ill or anything.
I know he's very impressed. A big smile breaking out on the CEO's face there, because he can understand absolutely why you are seen as such a highly rated talent. But do you feel pressure because people look at you in that way?
The pressure I feel was the normal pressure of a ref. Yes, I do feel pressure, especially when I'm doing football academy games, Premier League academy games. But I really just find tactics to kind of remove that pressure and just focus on the game. Because if I let that pressure get to me, then my on-field calls will be bad. I need to stay focused, stay in the moment. And so you're the referee, so you're kind of the police officer of the field. So you really need to be just keep on task and just make sure everyone has a good game.
And you can identify with that, can't you? Because that was very much, I remember you talking to me privately about when you started and you had to retain that objectivity.
It is, and it's interesting listening to James. Firstly, I really appreciate you doing a lot of marketing stuff for refereeing. I mean, you've talked about some of the key words that we as grown-up use, and what refereeing teaches about, leadership, about fitness, about potentially communication, confidence, which you exude in abundance. Just sort of bringing that home, because Darren touched on the point. I think one area I'd be interested to hear your experience on is, what are the parents like on the sideline when you referee on under 15s? What was that? What's that like?
That's actually a really good question as well. Especially in academy football, parents can be a bit more relaxed because they don't want to, maybe be that parent who's the loud person shouting on the sidelines on a Saturday morning. Or on the other hand, the parents will feel more stressed, as whatever decision you as the referee is making could be impacting their son or daughter. So there is that element of like pressure as well. In grassroots football, it's more the parent, the way that the parent treats the referees in like most occasions, will they wouldn't treat them with the same respect. Can you kind of get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would say that there's been a lot of incidents where parents have been quite have been shouting at young referees. There's been a lot of like coaches as well. So I think it's just something that we should overcome and tackle in the future.
Jen, have you experienced that first?
I have, yeah.
Tell us about an occasion when that's been the case.
I believe when I was like 15, doing an under 14 game, and parent didn't like my on-field decision of a tackle that ended up in a sending off to one of the players. I think it was his son.
So there was a tackle.
Yeah.
You sent off the person who had committed the foul.
Yeah.
In your eyes, it was a sending off offence.
Yes.
You sent the player off, and the parent was unhappy with you.
Yes.
Tell us what
the
happened.
parent entered the field of play, and to be honest, now that I look at it, I see it as like a learning curve, because wherever like it's thrown at me, I like turn it around, and like I can, once I've experienced it, I will learn how to like not meet it in the future, if you know what I mean. So I like to learn from these, I'd say, barriers, and I'll try and learn from these issues that happen at the grassroots games.
Just before we respond to that, I want you to elaborate a little bit about what you said about other young people, other teenagers who are refereeing, and they too get abuse, anger, frustration from parents, coaches. Do you know of friends? Have you witnessed other occasions where that's been the case?
Yes, I've witnessed some occasions. Like some referees like maybe get like a bit overwhelmed, and like if I'm watching one of my brother's football games and I see the ref getting overwhelmed, I like maybe go and have a chat with them, help them out, and try and calm down the situation, because that's what I do.
What's really important for you, even though James is our guest, it's really important for us as older people to make it clear that it's the game's job to protect you. I know you're talking about lots of different techniques that you use to get through those things, but as I'm sure I hand over to Aji here, it's the game's job, it's a senior referee's job to give you that support mechanism to make sure that you don't have to go through that. And also for the game, I would imagine, Aji, to really put the onus on parents to sort themselves out.
Absolutely. I think I sort of picture, here's a 15-year-old, I think you were, refereeing a game for fun on the park, football. And he's made a call, a referee's call, whatever that call is, right, wrong, or indifferent. And he's having to be put through a situation where a grown-up and a coach are walking onto the field of play, a fully grown adult intimidating a 15-year-old. You just have that picture for a second. You tell me, what other walk of life is that acceptable at any level whatsoever? That's what the young referees are facing, and I know they introduced the yellow armband to demonstrate. Were you wearing the yellow armband?
I was.
Sorry, what is the yellow?
So the yellow armband was introduced into the game for everyone watching that game to know that the referee that refereeing your game is a young referee under the age of 16. So he's a child refereeing your game. So be aware and treat them like in the right manner. But that still didn't prevent the parent of walking onto that field of play or the coach to have their say because it's football and it's acceptable. Now, under no circumstances should that be acceptable in any way whatsoever. And, the game, the clubs, the other parents, everyone surrounding need to take ownership of making sure that doesn't happen on a match day. And it's not down to the referees or the refereeing community to change that. It's down to all of us.
Yes.
Otherwise, we don't get to retain talents like James or his age mates, given that half the referee network now is under that age.
With that in mind, when you go home and you tell your dad, a coach came onto the pitch and shouted at me, or a parent came onto the, what did your dad say?
He was like, wow, because it's very bizarre, isn't it? To know that a referee is under 18 and to try and confront them.
And so you're speaking generally. I'd probably be the same age as your dad. I'd be like, I don't want you playing it. What does your dad say to you? Does he agree with me that he doesn't want you in that environment, or does he?
Well, it's all about me learning. Like, he wants to push me to become and to reach a proper level in referee. So he really just said, James, use it as like a learning experience, which I did. And now I've experienced that, I feel like more confident now. Like, with other people, if they experience that, they might feel less confident. But I actually feel that if that's what's happening at the grassroots game, at that level, let me try and learn and try and like overcome and find ways so that doesn't happen again.
Have there been you gave us one example already, other examples of friends of yours who are refereeing or maybe running the line who are 16 or under being approached by coaches and parents?
There were some instances. One of my friends, he was running the line for his siblings team, and then he was just getting constantly shouted at by the opposition parents.
Do you talk about that with them, and what do they tell you?
They just tell me that it was just a bit funny because you're on the line on a Saturday morning, and then you're just hearing like a 40, 50-year-old dad shouting words at you, and you just laughed at it, really.
But I would imagine there are some people who might laugh on the outside.
Yeah, but inside,
the inside might feel quite intimidated.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we try and instill within James from the BAMREF mentoring program is that this is not acceptable behaviour.
Yes.
And once that happens, you blow the whistle, you have a coach, you have a conversation, a stepped approach with the coaches, and tell them, if that's your parent, sort him out, otherwise I'm picking up the ball and I'm walking away. And that's really the process. It's an unacceptable behaviour. It shouldn't be laughed at, shouldn't be condoned, and people need to take accountability for their actions. We pick up that ball, and then the essence of really what happens after is the reporting process, because this needs to be reported. Whereas historically, what's happened is it goes unpunished, it's not reported, and people like James develop their coping mechanism, but the problem just moves from game to game. Absolutely. Because that parent goes to another game and does exactly the same thing.
Just out of interest, are you aware of what the reporting structure is?
The reporting structure for the FA?
The one that Aji has just mentioned?
Yes, I believe. The report 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
And then working with your mentor, I believe, Nick.
Nick Reese.
Yeah. Should be sort of guiding you around how you then cope with that thereafter. So if you had that, look, I don't know if you've had those experiences recently, but maybe the right question is what you went through back then, and if you go through that now, would you deal with it differently?
I would. I believe that the behaviour then, and in comparison to the behaviour now, it's improved a lot. And I feel like the methods that the FA have introduced, that's improved a lot as well. So if those situations do happen again, I will know how to deal with it, and so that it doesn't, as you mentioned, spread from game to game. Yeah,
and just to sort of capitalize, this is really emphasising why mentoring is really important, because traditionally referees like James starting their journey, like I did, like Joe, you would have said to you, you're on your own. And when that happens, you've got two choices. Do I really want to put the armour on and go out next Saturday and embrace the same thing again? Or do I really want to chuck it in? And I can give you a reel of names of referees that look like me and many others that just decided this is not for me, because they had dads like yourself that would say, you're not going out next Saturday to go and face that. And we lose them.
Well, that's the essence of what BAMREF is about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It was created to protect older as well as younger referees.
100%. And then, it's why its essence, while we know we've been on a journey over the last 5 years, it's also important to hear voices like James, who was at the start of his career and is already experiencing some of these challenges that we had hoped had been left in the past. It's not in the past, it's still now. And we need to double up on our efforts and keep, the education piece is really important, but holding clubs, parents
to
account is also super important.
You've been nodding a lot.
Yeah, it's because I'm just happy to be here. And
But you shouldn't just be happy to be here. You should want that protection. You should want to be able to do your job just like anybody else without having people in your ear all the time. And you should be able to come away smiling, being happy with the decisions that you've made, rather than thinking, I don't know if I want to referee that team again because their parents are really aggressive or their coach was really aggressive. That's the environment that Aji's talking about.
On the contrast, there has been some times where the teams have been great. Like maybe there was a team who saw that I was a young referee, and then they kind of helped me out a bit. So they were more like respectful, like calling me sir. They were weren't like shouting at every call that went the wrong way. And I found that really, really helpful as well, because as a young referee, it can be a bit daunting going into those doing those under 18, under 17 games. So to know that there are teams out there who support young referees is very good.
With that in mind, because we're talking about the positive, you were selected for the Premier League Under-12 national tournament. How'd that come about?
After some performances with some Premier League football academies, I started to get some more contacts in the football academy game. I did a lot of Premier League games, program games, and then I was contacted by email to referee a Premier League Under-12 tournament, which I found really. I was actually quite happy when I received the email, because I was refereeing a lot of top Premier League and Championship teams, and I felt like I did really well.
What was the experience like?
It was at first when I saw all the players come in and coaches, like a lot of top teams coming in,
Starstruck.
And then I was very starstruck. And because I saw other BAMREF referees, and then I was just having a conversation with them, and then we actually got on really well. In my first game, it actually went very smooth, because all the players were respectful, and then I can continue to referee at that Premier League Under-12 tournament, and then all the way to the end. And then there was some good feedback from the coaches as well.
Fantastic. You mentioned other BAMREF referees. I know there is one in particular that you drew inspiration from when you watched him right here on the BAMREF Show. Tell us about that.
I took a lot of inspiration from Nick Rees, and his story. He's Hertfordshire based, just like me, and he's helped me a lot. He's got me into refereeing some men's games as well, which is really good. Nick has really taken my career. He's really taken my career far, and I met him at St George's Park for the FA Core meeting that was in this July, and then he's given me a lot of guidance as well on how to become a better referee, and I'm still using his tips and tricks nowadays in the game.
What's the tip that you use most that Nick's given you?
I've used this tip. It's so when the lino flags, the referee does a little signal with his hand, so that keeps it make sure everyone's on the same page, so there's no inconsistencies and the other
flags.
Yeah, so that's really helped me, because at my level, which happens a lot, if the liner flags the other way, well, I think it's the other way, then it can cause a lot of confusion. And then next you have the team complaining, and then you have the other team complaining, and then it's just wasted time altogether.
Actually, this is the system working, isn't it? A BAMREF system that you and Joel, my next R chairman, you both worked incredibly hard to set this up.
It's so refreshing to have someone like James and his age reflecting on his journey so far, and already being able to call himself a Premier League referee, by the way. So you want to own that. Under 12 nights of Premier League competition, you refereed in it.
Yeah.
Tick that box, you've done Premier League competition. But what is really important is that James recognises now that he's got a network who truly understands what the journey might be for him, either as a young referee or a referee of colour, a black man trying to find his way in the game and excel himself and develop himself. It comes with all the right attributes. He already sees the positive from the negatives with clubs. He sees the challenges. He also takes ownership of his own development, saying, I can overcome, whatever the noise is, whatever's going on, I can't control that. I'll pass it on to people that can help me, but I'll control my own development skills and build up my resilience. Those are all attributes that you need as a referee. He's already able to articulate the learnings that he's achieved, whether it's leadership, whether it's managing his own friends and network, whether it's communication and confidence level, that he's now at the age of 16 doing men's game, albeit under very good guidance and structured review to make sure that he's not exposed. One of the reasons why I'm here today as well, to make sure that we look after James in the right way. But it's really what we want to build in BAMREF, is that community that integrates not just as a community but into football, because we all love football. That's why we're in the game. The colour of our skin makes no difference about our passion. We share the same passion as all our colleagues, and we deserve the same opportunity as all our colleagues.
Do you feel that sense of support that Aji's talking about?
I really do now. It's not just for refereeing, off the pitch as well, like making sure that my diet is being managed, making sure that I'm getting the right sleep, I'm training the right way, doing the right signals. If there's any updates about new laws that have come out that I may not have known about, and I feel like with the current support, and if I just can maintain the attitude and the consistency, then hopefully I could make a career out of refereeing.
Now, the word on the street is that you were at the FA Core conference last July. Is that right?
I was.
Your birdie tells me that. How did that come about?
I went to a FA Core Talent ID, hosted by BAMREF, for Black, Asian, minority referees. I did it at the QPR training ground, and now that you bring it back up, I remember doing the fitness test, and I was like, because the QPR under 21 just came out there coach, and then I was just running, doing the fitness test, and I think I smashed the sprint test, so that was really inspiring. So because I do athletics outside of school.
We don't want to lose your referee. Don't say that to him. Don't tell him how quick you are.
I mean, you saying you smashed the sprint test.
Yeah.
My understanding is you smashed all the tests.
Yeah, I did. I was really happy about that as well. And there was, I forgot his name maybe. There was this referee at that talent ID. He was helping me out, guiding me in the fitness test. So I'm really grateful for that help.
Who was that referee? You don't remember?
I don't think I remember his name.
But I would imagine when you smashed all of those tests, you got that confidence that actually, this is something that I can really do more than ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've been focusing on my fitness in the recent months, and it's improved, and it's really, really good when it pays off. All that hard work pays off, and getting in a reasonable place in the fitness test, competing with men at 15, 16, it's really good. It shows that my determination has paid off as well.
Now, even though you don't eat fast food, we do, as African Caribbean culture, coming from an African or Caribbean culture, we do have certain foods within our culture that are quite heavy. They're quite stodgy, but delicious.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
Absolutely. It's so
Been
good.
my downfall for many years.
What's your downfall? What's your downfall?
My downfall, I'm sorry, but I just can't resist jollof rice.
We're together on that, don't worry.
Jollof rice, anything else?
Curry goat, rice and peas. All that.
And how disciplined are you in relation to that? I mean, does your mum say, don't worry about the game?
Everything's good in the right quantity.
Yeah, true, exactly that. Make sure that what you're eating, if it's managed, and I feel like maybe not eating it in like vast majorities, but if what you're eating is managed, then it should be all right. And if you're eating like curry goat and rice and peas on like a Monday, try and change that for the Monday after. Like try and eat something healthy. Try and eat like a salad or something. Like you're gonna want to balance your diet, especially at my young age, because people neglect their diet a lot. It's very I feel like corporations have made it easy to get fast food. You can go on the phone and get fast food in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's very easy to get fast food nowadays. So you just have to make sure that you stay like committed to a balanced diet plan, and then you should be alright.
Yeah. Wise words for your host.
It is, and I think just sort of highlight. I think what James is alluding to there is equity working at its best, because there is a lot of knowledge out there. The FA do serve up quite a lot of knowledge base in terms of what referees need from nutrition, PGMO. We've spoken on many occasions, several wealth of knowledge with a lot of expert. What's happened historically is that knowledge never filters off to our communities. And now through the BAMREF network and our relationship with the FA and PGMO, we're ensuring that knowledge actually reaches all communities.
Yes.
So there is a little bit more fairness in competition. And if we've got the fairness in competition and you're getting the right referees with the right talent coming through, people like James can turn up on an assessment day and smash all the records and show you that the physical aspects is there, the mental aspects is there, and the attitude is right there. It's about the learning journey and taking everyone through that journey that matters.
More nodding from you.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that point very well. Because once you organise yourself, and as Aji mentioned, it's only the like learning that needs to be improved. So if you get these fundamentals like done now, diet, if you get the like basics done, like signs and stuff, then you can worry about the like learnings and like match day management. You can worry about that later. So it's all about being a smart referee, basically.
Yeah, I have to call him Mr. Ajibola. So
you can call me Aji because you're a referee.
Let's go to BAMREF. I'll do that again. Let's go to BAMREF Watch. Right, let's start with the curious case of the semi-automated offside decision that went in favour of the Liverpool forward Florian Wirtz on Sunday in their game against Fulham. Now, Wirtz was a man who looked for all the world to be offside. Can you guys understand why some fans, particularly Fulham fans, would have been confused by this one? Let's start with you.
Okay, so Fulham were playing Liverpool at their home ground. They would have loved to get a result against Liverpool, of course, everyone does. If we look closely, we can see that according to the VAR system, I think semi-automated offsides, we can see that the Fulham defender, his foot, I wouldn't even say foot, I'll say toe, was keeping Wirtz onside. So in that case, I believe that goal should have stood.
Now, actually, I want to talk about something that interested me on Monday morning, because we found out that from the start of the 2021-22 season, all leagues added a tolerance level, or the benefit of the doubt, of around about 5 centimetres. I have to confess, I didn't know anything about it. I work in this industry. I would assume the pair of you didn't know anything about it either.
Well, full disclosure, no, I didn't, Darren, but you would...
And there have been 720 matches since it was brought in.
Yes, and I guess from a communication process perspective, that obviously needs looking at clearly. However, saying that, I think you've got to appreciate that the game of football and VAR's inclusion in the game of football is only for a small minority. And the 720 games is the highest level of the game. For most of us as match officials, we operate whereby naked eye takes precedence. Championship and below, football league and below, and then grassroots football. We all play under a different rule of law, where there is no benefit of technology review. And I think, I keep hearing this, and it's often said week in, week out, clear and obvious errors only do VAR intervene. Now, the on-field decision was offside. If we're now having a tolerance level of whatever centimetres is, five, whatever it is, then that means it's no longer a clear and obvious error.
So it's a really good point. It's a really good point, because you can't parrot clear and obvious and then have tolerance levels of
correct
the width of your iPhone.
Yeah, well, it becomes a contradictive positioning from my perspective. You're saying one thing of what VAR is meant to do, and then the other thing, when it seems to serve another piece of technology within VAR, we're moving away from that. So I think communication needs to be better. In all honesty, is the decision right or wrong? I think if you're relying on technology, this is why you've invested in it. From what James is saying, you've got to take technology on board. Otherwise, why use it? But then you've got to get communication right. If you're talking about clear and obvious.
I know you're a staunch defender of the laws. I'm the one who's normally having a go. But for you to kind of accept that we are in this difficult place with that, I mean, you can understand why there will be a lot of debate around this.
Well, I think there are two things there. I think there is a conversation around what the law says, and I think that's not for debate in this instance.
No, of course.
The law's clarity, and I would always stand by what does the law book say, and that's how we implement. I think in this instance, the interpretation of the offside, the offside law is being interpreted correctly, but it's just actually having tolerance level. And for me, really, this is all about communication piece. And if the clubs have signed up to it, Fulham can't really complain. But equally, if the clubs are aware, and then you're saying to the clubs, we've got a clear and obvious implementation in VAR, then I would suggest we're probably confusing the clubs with those two positions on the same thing. Would be my position.
No confusion about the 4-game suspensions of the Equatorial Guinea captain Carlos Acapo and his teammate Josete Miranda for abusing the referee in their 1-0 defeat to Sudan at the Africa Cup of Nations. A decision taken by the Confederation of African Football disciplinary panel after it reviewed the referee's report from the Group E clash on Sunday. It resulted in National Thunder exiting the tournament. The referee, Messi Jesse Nkuno Miuto, stated that the two players, quote, repeatedly uttered insulting and obscene remarks, unquote, towards him and his assistants following the full-time whistle. Now, I've got a statement from the Congolese official, which said, these remarks were made in a context of intense anger related to the defeat, but nevertheless constitute a serious breach of the principles of respect and fair play, as well as the CAF disciplinary regulations. I know you are very, very strong on this respect.
Welcome
it. Officials.
I welcome it. I think this happens far too often in many games of football. When, as a collective officiating team, too many times players come up to you when they've lost a game, suffered defeat, and they shake your hands, not from a sportsmanship perspective, but just to have a go and say, you've had a poor game today, or you've been really, really, whatever the word is, there is a level of frustration and empathy as a team that we afford players. But when it crosses the line, the game, the confederations, as with CONCACAF, the FA, whatever the region is, need to be really, really strong about the messaging to the players.
Do you think this show of zero tolerance could catch on in the major European leagues?
Well, in all fairness, though, and I think it's already there. I think if, as a match officiating team, if we report this in our referees report to the level where the Congolese colleague has reported it, I think the FA they'll be mandated to take action. I think that sense of responsibility sometimes, I know this might not be a popular view, falls on us referees, quite often we'll let this sort of commentary pass on and put it down to frustration. And I've been on teams where that's happened, where you're hearing on the comms, players have come up to the match referee on the day and they've said whatever to him, you've been blah, blah, blah. And he puts his report in and he doesn't mention it, he just puts it down to frustration. And I think part of my, certainly my approach to my games is if you say that to me, it's going in my report. You can deal with it afterwards. And I've seen the FA do take stands when it's been included in the referee's match report, whereby maybe not to the level of 4 games, where there's one game, or a letter to the club to say explain your comments, and then as a refereeing force, we don't see what happens afterwards, so you don't know whether there's been actions taken.
And that's why I think this is so significant, because I think that what the leagues in Europe should do is make a stand exactly like this. I know you've been nodding all the way through that. The floor's yours.
I believe that the decision to suspend the players was correct, because you're the referee. You're supposed to have 100% authority of the field. You and your 2 liners, you should take control of the field. So when your authority's been disrespected, then if you don't deal with that in the right ways, then you can find players using that as leverage to want to attack you in the game. They're gonna disrespect you more. So by being harsh and by giving out those punishments, it can really it can take away the thought of other players.
That confidence surely comes from the fact that you know that you're going to be backed up by the confederation.
True.
So confidence knows that. The players know, which is what the point down is made. If the players know, and you as a refereeing team know that if I put this report in, I'll be supported by my bosses, and they're going to come down on you. Players get the message. You as a team have the confidence to report it. Because I think what happens is many referees in the past don't report these things because they think, I'm going to see these clubs again, I'm going to see these players again. Yes. And my boss is not really interested in supporting.
Is that a genuine worry?
It certainly used to be.
Is that a worry at grassroots level?
Yeah, sometimes. If you put a report in and then you get appointed that same team, maybe not the next week, but maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they might still, once they receive the fine, they might still hold that against you, and that could affect your judgment in the game, kind of.
Because you're worried that you might overcompensate to prove that you haven't got anything against them.
Yeah.
See, these are the things that...
Human nature. Sometimes you go into a club, and I've had many of those journeys in my part and thinking, right, it's going to be helmet day today. Before you even arrive, you're putting the braces on, thinking, right, I know what I'm getting, because they just don't. And in the past, I've reported them, and you've not really seen anything, or they might have been fined.
But on the flip side, if you see a federation take a stand in the way that CAF have done and supported this referee, we often say, don't we, that when these things happen at the top, they trickle down to the bottom.
Yes.
So this could be a real watershed moment in terms of showing the support to a referee that other federations or leagues can do, and suddenly you've got a situation where it has an effect.
No, I agree. I think the other side might argue, and you've heard this before, referees aren't accountable for anything. They're not held accountable. And we've had various systems in the past where clubs get a say in referee promotion tables. And some of those systems have been removed now to enable that referees can act with confidence. However, what still needs looking at is that collective education piece. I think, yes, you need a confederation piece, but with the greatest respect, I think the clubs or the country and the association need to be taking steps up and saying, wait a minute, you're representing our country. They found you guilty. We also, as a country body, Equatorial Guinea as a body, rather than supporting their players, should come out and say, we condemn this kind of behaviour. As a result, we're not going to pick you for the next 3 or 4 games. It needs to be a collective game effort between clubs, country, and also the governing body.
Well, we're going to follow this one up for next week's BAMREF Show. I want to give you the last word on that one, because I saw you nodding all the way through what Aji was saying there.
Yes, I do agree. Again, it needs to be a collective effort, or else these problems are just going to spread. If they nip it in the bud when it's early, then it stops it from going because as a professional footballer and a professional ref, you're basically role models to the next generation. So on the TV, if like young children see that it's acceptable to like shout abuse at referees while the match is playing, I've experienced quite a lot of things like that. Like they would do it. They would like to do it on like at the end of the game because they think that you can't book them or because the game has ended, but you can still add it in your report, which they need to be educated on that. Because
you can still book them.
So you're the one who's not
You can
doing
still
now.
book them right away. Until you walk off that field of play, you can still send a player off.
Yeah.
And I've done many of those in my career, don't worry.
That's all we've got time for here on the BAMREF Show. It's been a real pleasure to have James Box with us. He's a name that you are going to be hearing an awful lot more of, both here on the BAMREF Show and throughout his career as well. So thank you very much indeed for joining us. Have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it. Great. Thank you very much. I hope that I can go far, and I hope to be coming back here in a few years. Like maybe I could be on there, you know. So
We'll hold you to that.
I like
Hold you
it.
to that.
That's all we've got time for here on BAMREF. A massive thanks to James for joining us. Remember, you can catch us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on X as well. We particularly want to hear from you if you operate at grassroots level, if you're a player, if you are an official in particular. Get in touch with us. Aji's going to be back with us next week. We hope you will join us too. Happy New Year to you.